Hey there, this is Tim. I'm one of the partners at Paragon Partners along with Kelly. And in this video, I'm going to go over my last 30 eBay sales. Actually, this is going to be more of a double feature. I have about 60 items since I've been a bit late making my last one, but I wanted to cover all my sales. You can see my overall sales last 30 days is about 12,500. This is down. I believe it was post-summer. Hopefully I'll be picking up for the Christmas season. When I was at my best 30-day period in summer, I was around 19,000. So you can see I'm down about 30% right now. This item, it was a vintage Boy Scout backpack, and I took a best offer of $16 on this. It didn't have anything that went with it, but I sold it to a Boy Scout collector who actually knew a lot about it, so it sounded about right to me. I got this at an auction just for $1 or $2. And I realized it had value because it was a vintage Boy Scout item. This item, I really didn't expect to do well on. Originally got this hoping to sell it on Amazon FBA, but it was in a gated category, and it was just some plain white cheapy shelf. I really didn't think much of it. But so I went ahead and put it on eBay, and I did get the 15 for it. Boy, I wish I had more of these. I've been selling these like hotcakes. Now I didn't have a pen with this one. I've been selling the ones with pens for a better price. But the signature pads, I put these up within 24 hours, they're gone. Oh, no, my partner got this, a live doll. He gave me about 6 of these. He bought these some time ago from thrift stores. He finally brought them out of storage and I listed them. This is the first one I sold. And I was so selling these dolls, but when I looked at the price, I said, actually they do well. So we still have a couple of them listed, but I did get 25 out of it. Here's a camera package. I took 20 for this one. These full camera packages, that's because it had the battery, the memory chip, the CD, and the chargers to go with it. Of course, then I do better on them. This is one of the later ones, so it wasn't quite as good, but still, I was happy with the 20. You've been following me. I had a whole lot of these. I took a $20 bid on this one. It was 3. Usually on these, if I sell them individually, I get like $10 a pop, but I put them together all in one lot, and I don't have the chargers for them, so I don't get the same good price. This is another item my partner gave to me out of his storage locker. I wasn't sure on this one. You can see we had it originally listed for 70. Then after 2 months, not getting that price, we lowered it, and then we were finally able to sell it. Oh God, these keyboards. So I originally sold the same lot to somebody in Russia, but he didn't want to pay postage to go to Russia, which of course would have been astronomical. He only wanted to pay domestic postage. We're going, no, if I'm sending it to you in Russia, you got to pay the full freight. Well, he never did. So of course, he got an unpaid item strike on this. I relisted them, and it took like another 2 months, and finally someone bought it. Now, kind of what actually gives some of these their value is that they have the old PS2 connectors. I have tons and tons of keyboards, which are USB, but they don't have the USB receiver, so they're practically worthless. But these old corded keyboards with the old PS2 connectors, you can actually get a little money out of them. Here's a camera. I typically buy these about $5 each, and it was just the regular camera. You can see I got 20 for it. Oh God, we got a whole bag of these bulbs, and I only list them because I kind of didn't want to throw them out. I wanted to get some money out of it. You see, we sold it for $10, not a lot, and with free shipping, so we're not making tons and tons of money on it. So these model kits. This is the first time I've ever done these, so we'll see how they go. I'm really, really leery of buying these when they're not in the shrink wrap with box open, because you never know if you're missing a plate or not. And so the risk is really high. But I came across a bigger lot of these where I only got them for a small amount, and so it made the risk worth it. So we'll see how we do on these. Oh, here were some old headphones that I had. And sometimes I have DJs who like to get these for their own setup. And so this was vintage, but it was an older set from the 80s. And you can see I got 14 for it, so I thought that was good. Now, I bought 6 bots of these. There are 7 seasons, so I was missing 1 season, which is too bad, because if I had the whole season, entire seasons 1 through 7 put together, I could have sold it for about $70, but only had 6 seasons. I was missing 1 of them, so I just put them up individually, and this is the first one that sold. And I bought all of them, all 6 seasons at an auction. I think I got like $8 for the whole thing. So here's some more of those bulbs. And of course, people, these bulbs go for cheap, and they all come with free shipping anyway. So I didn't do well, but yeah, at least I'm making some money. This one I was happy it sold. I wanted to put this on Amazon, but it was a gated category, so I couldn't. So I wasn't expecting a lot, just out of a couple figures, but I think somebody paid the $10 for it. This one I took an $18 best offer on. I got this, I believe, on an auction for just a couple of bucks. Now, it's an old style laser leveler. It was still new in box, but this was probably at least 15 years old, so it didn't have the same value. Nonetheless, I was glad to get rid of it. So, I finally decided to try some clothing. On clothing, I keep on going back and forth on. Now, of course, I see other eBay sellers. They do make a lot of money on clothing, and they seem to do quite well on it. On the not good side is that since you can get it at every single thrift store, there tends to be so many people in the clothing category that it becomes flooded. Now, if I had to do this over again, I put these at 7-day auctions. And what I should have done was I shouldn't have listed it as a buy it now best offer at $40 and waited until people made me a decent offer. Since I just listed it as an auction, I was hoping I'd get some bids on it, but I didn't. So I sold these really nice coats for $15. Nonetheless, I did acquire these coats for just a couple bucks each, so I'm still making money on them. And so I'll still be intrigued to do this more. This my partner got out of a surplus sale, and we got like a whole box of these, like 60 of them. And they just keep on selling and selling. We've been doing well on them. Here's another one of those coats. And yeah, even when I see these coats at thrift stores, they're like in the $25 range. So I'm going to do the buy it now. And these are nice ladies' coats. Oh, I'll add one more note. I hired a new photographer. She does some photography for Amazon, and she has the mannequin model. And so it's made doing these coats and other clothing a lot more accessible to me since my photographer can do it now. Now, I sold this for $15. And here's another one that I thought I would have done better on. Everyone keeps on talking about how popular Legos are. And of course they are, but this was a 600 or 464 piece set. So it did have a lot to it. And I thought it would have commanded like a $30 value. But even at $20, I wasn't getting any bites. So finally someone after like 6 weeks offered me 15, and I took it. This came on consignment. I sold this for $45 on behalf of another seller. Oh, now this one I took a $110 bid on, and I bought this for about, pardon me, $30 on an auction because I had seen other people in these sales do well. And I bought this again at an auction. I think I got like $6 into this. Now, you have to make sure it works, because a lot of times these bands, they get brittle and stale with age. And of course the projector works and the fan works. All of it worked. So I get somebody who was happy to pay the $30 for it. Now, this one, I may have actually undersold. It was a lot of the wood toys, trains, and people. I bought it for about $6, and it was listed only for about 2 hours before someone paid the whole $25 for it. And of course, it came with free shipping. I should have probably asked $30. On these radios, I accepted the $11 bid. It had the 2 radios in the cradle, but not the charger that went with it. And it was free shipping, so I probably undersold it. Now here's another one of those coats. The this one wasn't as nice. This is more of a trench coat or a raincoat, and I started at $10, and that's all that came up. Now, this HP iPack. This is from the 90s. It was a bummer that I didn't have the charger for it, so I couldn't show it working. I noticed that they're going for about $20 when they were. I got it for $2 and I sold it for 10, so I still came out ahead. Oh, now this I got for $1, and I only bought it because I recognized the name Kate Spade. I knew that was a good name. Of course, I don't know anything about women's wallets. And I put this up, and in less than 24 hours, I had it sold at $10. Oh, so here's some adult diapers. And I got these from a friend to sell on consignment, and these have been a pain. The problem I come to realize is that people, when they buy these, of course, they have medical issues, so they're getting their insurance to pay for them. So no one is buying these straight out of pocket. And so I've had to lower the price. And, of course, these are coming with free shipping, so I'm not making that much on them. This one I sold for $75. This was a scanner. And this came out of one of the surplus sales that my partner purchased. And sometimes on these scanners, I've done well, but they're usually in the $20 to $30 range. And I looked this one up, and this scanner commanded a higher price. So I was happy to spot it and list it for what it was. Here's another woman's coat that I sold. And again, I shouldn't have started these at auctions. I should have done buy it now, best offer at 40 and see how they went. Oh, I mentioned this earlier. I had sold one of these for $25. Here's one of the $35 ones I sold because it had the pen with it. And no kidding, I had like 6 of these, and I sold out all 6 within 48 hours. It was that good. God, this... I even forgot I had it. It's been listed that long. You can see I had $7 with free shipping, so I didn't make a lot. But it was just a connecting cable. In fact, I would do this over again. Sometimes I get the microphones, and so I put this together a lot with some mics because by itself it didn't do that fabulous. Here's a power charger, and mostly I've been ho-hum on these. I realize that, first of all, they have to be a name brand, that the aftermarket ones don't sell. And even when they sell, they're usually around $10 to $15 for free shipping. So you're not getting that much. I mean, I suppose there's an upper end that you can recognize where you can get more. But the vast majority of power chargers that I'm getting are not commanding that price. So you can see I sold this one for $8 with free shipping. God, these telephone systems, I go hot and cold. You watch some of my earlier videos, I gotten like about 4 sets of these. The 3 sets I sold for a good price. This is the one left over that wasn't selling. And so as a last straw, we list it for 99 cents. Sometimes the auction takes off, sometimes it doesn't. So you can see we got $1 with $5 shipping, so we didn't make any money on this one. And like I say, these telephone systems, sometimes I'm able to do well, other times they lay around. I was watching another eBay reseller, and what he does on these is he goes ahead and he buys new batteries completely for the new set. Then he relists it with new batteries and shows it working, and he says he does pretty well. So I'll have to think about that next time. Oh, so this is a wireless Xbox controller. And I actually started this at a 99-cent auction to see how it would do. And I've seen these go up to $20 just for one. Of course, I was hoping to get that, but nope, I got 10 for it. I sold this on consignment for a friend, and anything with Sonos does well. And this was no exception. So we're happy to get the price for it. Here's some Bose earbuds, and Bose is another high-end brand. In fact, I think we did a little low on this one. I was hoping to get like 25 for it, but it still only came out to 18. Here's another power supply. Again, I got $10 for it with $5 shipping and handling. And these power supplies, like I said, they have to be a name brand before they move. This one I was happy with. Now this was a mini keyboard with a USB connector. And normally on keyboards, they're so common, I don't get a lot for them. In fact, you can go down to the thrift store and buy a regular keyboard for $2 to the USB connector. So I was kind of thinking of that. I had it in the back of my mind. I wasn't expecting that much, but I got $30 on this one. Here's a subwoofer. I took a $70 best offer on this, and this was on consignment for another friend of mine, and he was happy with the price. Here's another Bose speaker system, Bluetooth, and I sold this on consignment for another friend, and yeah, I was happy with the price. Now, I was surprised how well this one did. This is a trackpad and a mouse, and it had a little charger with it. In fact, I had the plug-in from another set, and I just threw it in with this one. But, of course, anything Apple does well, and this was no exception. Some more Bose speakers. Of course, I wish I would have done a little better. It was $30 for the pair. And these were good-sized speakers. And so I think this is on the low end of acceptable. I sold this on consignment for a friend. You've been watching me. You know I've got a whole lot of these headlights. They do sell, but they're slow sellers, and they're a pain to list because you have to look them up from the code numbers. If you can even find the code number. Sometimes there's like 4 of them. You're not sure which is which to line it up to the model number. And then, God, they have all these sharp, pointy things, and they're a pain to pack. You heard me earlier selling the model kits. So here are 2 more. I started these on the 99-cent sale, and $5 for the set. So I hardly made any money. This is a car radio for a Honda Civic, or CRV, pardon me. And actually, I wish I would have done a bit better. I took a $50 offer on this. And when I looked these up, I was thinking, oh, God, this should be, a $100 item. And or the OEM car radio. And I know if you go to the dealer, you probably spend a couple of $100. But I got 50, and that was only after like about 2 months of this sitting on the shelf. This one, actually, the guy who does my listing, he made a mistake in this. This auction was just for one of these printers. And on eBay, it's a big no-no to show anything in the photo other than what you're getting. And we're listing 6 printers here. You should only list one, so I'll be correcting this listing. But I took a $20 bid on it. And I did talk to the buyer, made sure he understood there was only one before I shipped it. But a lot of these came out of a surplus sale that my partner got. Those are just leftover printers. And so, why not get some money out of them? A TomTom GPS. I used to do better on these. And the last, say, 3 to 6 months, the market seems to have went cold on me. $7 was kind of a nominal price. When I pick these up now, I only pick them up for like $1 or $2 because they're more difficult to move and they don't get the same price they used to. Now, here's a Apple computer. We actually had 2 of these. The bummer was that neither of them it didn't have a hard drive in it. And these things, they weigh about 45, 50 pounds, so it was a pain to ship as well, really heavy. The first one of these we sold for about $125. So we put the second one up, and you see we got 84 out of it. Oh, so this is a older CB, but it was still new in box. My partner got this at a thrift store some time ago. We finally listed it. And for $40, I was happy with the price. And old CBs, I've actually done decent, even especially the older 70s analog CBs. I can still get them like $20 for a used one out of the brackets. So I was happy with this. Oh, so this one was kind of excited by. So usually these old magazines, they don't do well. But I had these old Popular Mechanics. I thought, might as well see what happens. So we got $5 out of them. And for me, otherwise, it just would have went into the trash. So I was chagrined on this one. This one, I wish I would have done better on. This was a Millennium Falcon. And this thing was actually huge. It was over 30 inches long. You can't tell it by the photo. Now, I'd done well on used G.I. Joe items, and even on G.I. Joe parts, I've done pretty well. Like I've seen just like a tank windshield, I can get $5 to $10 for, and even other parts, like I've seen like on Barbie vans, kind of the kitchen components or the windshields or the steering wheel, you can get a couple of bucks on. So I was thinking, okay, Millennium Falcon Star Wars, it's got to be worth some money, and it wasn't worth that much. We started off at 20 and we didn't get any action on it, so we finally sold it at 10. and I'm not sure if I'll try it again. Oh, so watch one of my prior videos, and I had a Holley carburetor, and I did $110 on it. So I'm thinking, well, okay, woohoo, carburetors, they got to be pretty good. Well, you can see this one is vintage, and I didn't get the same price. I only got one bid at $15. I got this at an auction just for like $2 or $3, so I'm still money up, but it wasn't the breakout that I had earlier. Oh man, now this one was going to be one of my biggest disappointments of the year. This came with a TI-83 calculator, and they usually go for $15 by themselves. And what this was a hookup onto the screen that you're meant to put onto an overhead projector. And these were meant for classroom use, where a teacher would be working through some problem with his students, and he'd plug it into the calculator, and he would project the results of the calculator onto the device, which would go on the overhead screen. And I had seen these sell for like $70 to $100, and I kept on trying, and on that price range I lowered it to $50, then I lowered it to $40, and we finally said, well, let's put up for the 99-cent auction, and that's all we got. This one just didn't move like I expected, and no kidding, I've been holding on to this for 6 months trying to move it at different price points. So this was good. We sold this on consignment for a friend, a Crescent amp system. I will say, man, this thing was heavy. It's about 65 pounds. We shipped it postal, and postal's limit is at 70 pounds, so we had to be careful with the amount of packaging we used. This one my partner provided out of a thrift store. He'd been hanging on to this. What made this work, of course, it was a DVD R player, and it had the hard drive with it. It was missing one of the little lift gates in the front, but we still got $20 for it, so not too bad. This is another one that my partner got out of a thrift store some time ago. This is an older 4-head VHS. And I've sold these in the $10 to $20 range, so I'm right there in the money. Oh, actually, this is a different one. Earlier in the video, I showed you one of these. My consignor actually gave me 2 of these, so this is the second one we sold. Again, same price, around $45. Oh, so digital cameras, people still get them, but they don't necessarily command the best prices, except for Nikon Coolpix. I always do pretty well on these. This one I sold for the full $20, and I didn't have the charger, so that diminished the value, but I had the CDs in the box. And yeah, people do like these Coolpix. So this one I'd got at an auction just as some leftover. It was some software for Adobe Photoshop, and it was like a 2006 version, so it wasn't that up to date. And I'm a little leery of this software because when I first started off, I listened to some software, and I got a DCMA complaint. Even though it was totally bogus, they still killed my auction and took down the software. I think it didn't happen this time because I listed at an attractive price and it sold pretty rapidly before anybody noticed. So I think about doing that again. But like I said, I practically got this for free, and I got 20 out of it. Oh, so this is another one of the printers that came over a surplus sale along with the other printers. And it had the power supply and the USB cord, and that helped move it as well. Oh God, these are old vintage paper dolls from magazines from the 1930s. And I got this whole lot for just like a couple of bucks. I took a $16 offer on it. And this is something I had sold once before. As a deadbeat buyer that never bought it. So I relisted it, and it had been up there for at least 2 months, and someone offered me $16, and I was happy to get rid of it. Originally, I got this at an auction. This came from an antique store, and each of those plates had about a $15 price tag on it, but they weren't moving at that price in the antique store. Oh, so this one I was a little this is another thing that my partner got out of a surplus sale. The This is a 2006 digital recorder. Now, of course, I didn't think it would have that much relevance because we all have digital recorders on our telephone now. But this was still cool in that it was voice activated, so you can leave it plugged in and it would record the contents in the room when you weren't there, and you can be sure you wouldn't be running out of space. So I think it still had some utility to it. Here are two more model kits that I got. I was able to sell these for $30 each, and you heard me at the beginning. I'm leery of these since they're both open box, but I only got them for a couple bucks, so not that much into it. So we'll see if it's worth the risk factor. Anyway, that's it. You hear this at the end of every video. Be sure like, subscribe, and leave us a comment, and we very much appreciate it. Cheers.